So everyone able to see my screen? Uh,
Sorry. I think, Supriya, I think I accidentally.
no problem, no problem. I'm
pressed-
just checking if folks are able to see my screen on the
yes, I
screen.
can see your
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
So, hello everyone. I'm so glad that you folks have joined the call and encouraged me to for this first time speaker series. First of all, a big thanks to Deepa and the G team for this opportunity. It means a lot, especially as a first time speaker for me. And since Deepa already introduced me, I'll jump right in. So today's session isn't just about cloud cost numbers, it's about bridging the gap between strategy and day to day execution. It's about making FinOps real, practical, and impactful for every team involved in the cloud journey. It's about how all of us, no matter our role, can make smart, accountable decisions in the cloud. So I would love this session to be interactive. So feel free to share your thoughts or even questions as we go. Let's not just make this as a conversation, or let's make this as a conversation and not just talks. I just want to uh, know from the audience how many of you have worked on the cloud side and understand the financial aspects of the any cloud infrastructure.
I'm super new to it, Supriya. I'm all ears. So anybody has any thought, please
Okay.
chime in. You can unmute yourself.
Hey, hi. Yeah, I would like to talk up. So I have been working as a cloud architect for GCP from last
Mhm.
4.5 years, and I have been into like building the dashboards and all for cost monitoring. And
Mhm.
every year it is like one of the goal sheet for us to minimize the cost on the cloud side. So we have been like looking for various ways, like what are the other measures that we can take for our organization to save more money on the cloud spending and all.
Mm.
So that also drives me to join this session to learn what else more we can learn, what other organizations have already adopted,
Mm.
some of the learnings that I can take away.
For sure. Thanks, Lakshmi. Anyone else in the engineering space or where you have done any, or I think I can get started. Yeah. So, um,
Sorry, Mahesh, you can unmute yourself. You can say hello to everybody, and if you are shy, you can post in chat.
Oh, hi, Deepa, hi, everyone.
Is this a topic something new to you, Mahesh? I know that's what the question was before you joined. She's just Supriya is just getting started, so she wants to know how is the audience here, whether the audience have any experience in FinOps and cloud cost management, etc.
Yeah, no, this is new to me. It's more like it was managed at the organization level, but I'm just trying to understand much more. I mean, how it's managed at the enterprise level, right? So I was not really involved in those decisions, I'm just trying to get to know more about it.
Oh, cool! I think everybody can learn from you, Supriya. Today we are all ears. Go ahead.
yeah. Okay. So today I'm planning to cover what I'm planning to cover is we'll begin with our journey why cloud cost visibility really matters and how it impacts the engineering velocity and business success, right? Why do we need to know what is the cloud bills? So other than that, we'll also talk about how to build this financial accountability into your cloud workflow without adding friction between the teams. After that, I'll talk about a few key FinOps strategies. Then how do we empower teams to make cost-effective decisions without slowing down innovation? Also, I'll share some real world lessons from my experience and what worked, what doesn't work, and how to overcome some challenges with this. And finally, I'll talk about some key takeaways that you can take back to your team and implement in your org. So we good here, and let's start about why cloud cost visibility matters. Like, what is cloud cost visibility? Why it actually matters? What you know about the cloud billing? So when organizations, right, move to the cloud from on-prem, the promise is speed and flexibility, and that's what cloud delivers. So if somebody decides that we need to uh, uh, develop something different, and if it is an on-prem, it is hard. You have to first procure the hardware and then implement on top of it. In cloud, it is just a click and you go. Engineers can spun up anything, uh, any cluster in minutes across any region, deploy across any region, test features in parallel environment. So the speed is very it's fast in cloud, but with the speed, it is a double-edged sword, right? Without clear policies, guardrails, or cleaner process, it's just you can leave the resources running for weekends or over the large span of time, duplicate data across multiple environments, forget the old environments, leave it as it is, because we just want to roll out a lot of things, and we keep bringing up instances to try out different regions. So that comes with a cost. So I still remember, for example, when I was working in one of the companies, they wanted some big marketing campaign showing that, multiple region and all. And it was provision, and then nobody remembered after that to shut it down. And everybody noticed at the month end when the bill came in. So it's like giving, if I want to convert it into a common outside cloud knowledge, it's like giving a person a company credit card with no limit. So you can swipe it anywhere, great for speed, but potentially it is a disastrous move that you don't have visibility how much you are spending when there is no limit. So that's why cloud is easy to consume, but the cost can inflate quickly.
Oh, can I add on to this? I had a personal experience. I was playing with one of the cloud tools, and I forgot to, like you said, I forgot it. It was just a demo project that I started, and I hosted it, and everything was fine. And once I finished the thing, I forgot to delete the app. So
Mm,
then I realized that I had to end up paying about $80
yeah, yeah.
because people started using it, and that's so I would strongly suggest make sure that but I know that AWS has a way to, if it goes beyond certain amount, it gives you a
Mhm.
notification, but I did not know to begin with this tool. So it was hard for me. I was like, oh my god, I didn't even, it was just a demo project for my talk.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Lot, the cost is incurred when you forget things. That is one of the main reasons, right? Lot of thing where automation and all comes into place. I'll talk that about that too. Yeah. Now, yeah, it is when it goes through your bank account. That's when you realize, okay, I need more visibility. Where I'm spending, where did it go? Where actually we're spending the money on. So that's why the visibility is very, very important. Um, yeah, lack of visibility equal to surprise bill session. So all the time.
Are you clicking through Supriya,
Oh,
because
it did not. Oh, sorry.
it
Okay,
was not going
thanks.
through. Yeah.
Thanks, Deepa. Thanks, Deepa. So when you get monthly bill, right, end of the month, when you get your invoice, the cloud invoice, or any invoice you get, when you see there is a percentage hike from previous month, you keep wondering why, what happened, where did I spend? Then we try to do the reverse engineering and try to break it down where the spend was. Like, for example, I think of one example where the logging was enabled, and at verbose level, and people did not realize that there will be so much logging and that will get stored, and the cost will go up for that. And when we see the itemized bill, when we try to break down the bill, why the cost went up, it is when we know that, okay, a small logging configuration that changed, which added a lot of logging, ended up in the spike. So if you don't have visibility, you might end up burning a lot of money. So without visibility, these surprises catches Finos off guard, right? Because the invoice comes to them, and that is something we need to end up fixing cost issues after they have occurred, and that's already too late. So we need to detect it much ahead of time than getting the invoice and finding out there is a spike. Um, so engineering, finance, leadership need a shared review. So what does it mean? So cloud cost management isn't just a FinOps side of job. It's not finance people looking into it. It's also not just engineering, and it's not about the leadership having owning the bills. It is for everybody. Like, the true accountability is everyone's: engineers, product managers, finance team, leadership. Everybody needs to have the same view, same data, same metrics. We are spending on compute, we are spending on storage, we are spending here, we are spending there. So which services we are spending. So everybody should have that view, and that is when you can make some informed decisions. So you need a shared view, same metrics, and everybody talks the same language when it comes to cost. So basically, that is, for example, when I mentioned the Kubernetes, right? When Kubernetes clusters are heavily used, nobody has an idea which namespace is using, which namespace was costing, or which services was costing, which product service was costing the money. So once you start adding this cost allocation in the dashboard, saying that breaking down by environments and services, you can capture at what infrastructure this spend is related to, what product it is related to. So it is not just for engineering view, even product understands that, okay, this service is rolled out and this is the cost. So that is when, this visibility, same visibility across the board. If you give the same visibility, you know when to optimize, when to scale, when to buy reserved instances, when to stay flex, when to stay on demand. So if everybody gets the same view, you can make decisions better.
I just wanted to say, those folks who have joined recently, just put your questions or unmute yourself, and let's make this session interactive as much as possible, so that Supriya does not keep speaking. So please share your thoughts. Share if you have encountered anything like what I have encountered, paying up $80 for one particular service that I forgot to close. So please chime in if you have any thoughts.
This is Eileen. I'm new to managing cloud. I really haven't, but of course, it's on my purview to be aware. So I appreciate all the tips you're sharing. And you're right, the cost can add up when it's kind of behind the scenes, shall we say. But my question is, you mentioned a shared view for cross-functional teams. In terms of tools that enable a shared view, what has been your experience, or what do you use?
So I'm not advertising for any of the tool, but we are using Looker. So our backend is BigQuery, where the billing data comes, and then we pull in other metrics to telemetry data and other metrics to that BigQuery, and then we give that shared view where we can show what is the cloud cost associated with one particular service, or one particular product bundle that we are selling. So we are using Looker.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But don't you? This is just I'm just asking this question because I never had any visibility towards what is the cost involved. But then I've seen companies use dashboards when one of those things is gone, or there is a service that is down, or there's a lot of traffic around that. So that implements also cost, right? So do you track them through dashboards or anything like that, just for folks who are not involved in the cost?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is, how it works is, the cloud providers, regardless is it GCP or AWS or Azure, they pump in data to some particular database on how much each service cost on based on your tagging. So they give a detailed level of cost visibility into their table. So either you can use the provided tools by them. There is AWS Cost Explorer, there is billing console in GCP. So you can use that to visualize the um, cost for running resources, for running which kind of services. And if you are done right tagging, it is very easy. You can build dashboards around it, or you can bring an external tool. There is nowadays in market, there are so many tools who do the same thing. They take this data, they put it in their system, massage it, and get you the out of the box dashboard and all, where it shows, okay, 50% of the cost that is incurred, your cloud expense is coming from compute, another 20% is coming from storage, another 10% is coming from your database, either it is Spanner or any other BigQuery, or so it can slice and dice thing in the dashboard. So that is at the service level, cloud provider service level. Then if you do the better tagging, you do better labeling and all for your services. Based on that, you can look at service level, what services cost you a lot, which region is expensive, which region is expensive when you're running one service compared to other region. And then if you want to make it customized, you have to do it more homegrown kind of thing at in-house. You have to build some tools where you pull in other information if you want to deep dive at customer level, to find the gross margin, how much you're spending the cloud, and how much revenue you are getting. So there is a lot of scope in this, when it comes to dashboard and
Okay.
tooling.
Thank you.
So any other questions? Yeah, let me move forward. So like, again, the visibility, why it matters. So if there is transparency on the cost side, at product level, at service level, at every level, if you're able to show the cost, engineers can see the impact in real time, right? How much it cost, how much the dev environment is costing per day, how much this particular service is running. If I'm bringing in new cloud services, how much it is costing. Is it this service better than another service? So it's all about, basically, when you're showing the transparency, it's all about awareness for the team. So if I'm talking about my experience in this, so when dev team saw that they consistently underutilizing their staging environment, so it was a decision made that, okay, we will put a TTL policy when we are going to shut down this environment during weekends and non-working hours. So these kind of small changes, when there is transparency of cost, these kind of small decisions we can make that will help save cost, but it doesn't impact any developer productivity. Productivity time is not lost. So um, like I mentioned, closing thoughts is on this is, you can't manage what you can't see. So always, cost visibility matters. If you show the visibility is not just about saving money, it's about enabling smart and sustainable growth in the cloud. So it gives confidence to the team to move forward without fear of financial surprises. They know exactly what is happening, how much it costs, how much what they can do to avoid uh, reduce cost, right? Like shutting down the Hibernate project kind of thing. So, yeah. So this was about why cloud cost visibility matters, and now I will talk about building financial accountability. So now that we have seen why cost visibility matters, let's talk about how we build financial accountability across the team. Because at the end of it is just the start. We need to take this visibility into action. I know it costs like $100. It costs $1 million. So what do I do? So that is visibility into action. So make cost visible. First, we start with visibility. If teams can't see what they are spending, they can't change anything. So the first step is to surface the right data, right context. So this means setting up dashboards. Like in the previous slide, there was a question. So I've discussed setting up dashboards, basically show the visibility at service level, at team level. So the SI team is spending so much, regression team is spending so much, dev team, or the sales team. So it is basically about the visibility by service level, by team level, by application level. So how we can bring that visibilities with tagging, like I mentioned, if you have done the right tagging. I know there are a lot of resources where you cannot tag, and then you have to implement a logic in your end how you are going to allocate those costs based on based on each company. The allocation might differ. If it is a ingestion based, then you can distribute $100 across, like who is ingesting more, they get the more dollar, compared to, you can do the ratio part. Then if it is taggable, you can assign it to a particular team, particular project, and you can track those costs. Then next I want to talk is creating cost awareness. So visibility isn't enough, we also need awareness. That means making cloud cost a regular conversation. So you run sprint meetings, you run stand-ups, and you run your epic and stories, what needs to be delivered. So this discussion should come when you're testing. See, you know, cost is also part of your testing cycle, whether this feature will increase the cost. If it is increasing, then should we go back to the whiteboard and design it in a better way, so that, you know, okay, instead of each, for example, instead of reading each line of log events, why don't you compress it and make it as a one write operation to GCS bucket, instead of doing 100 write operations. So that particular, the read write, all that is cost in cloud. You touch anything, it will, the meter starts running. So um, just talking about it in your sprint meeting or in your calls, that is a starting point, good point to discover a lot of this cost issues, and do a whiteboard session that how we can mitigate expensive operations. Is it doable? Should we redo the design? And then setting financial goals, right? So this is more like, budgeting, a kind of, R&D budget is $1 million per month. Sales budget is 200K per month. And once we have the visibility, we can track. So all the sales, whatever PO you're provisioning, the customer where they onboard and they give 30 days time period or leave it beyond 30 days, will cost you how much. And if you track it in a monthly budget, you know exactly that you are overspending, spending less, spending more, all that. So that is, you have to set a financial goal, saying that, okay, this is your budget and here is your visibility, keep track. If it is going beyond, let the finance know that we have more testing to be done, or we have more development to be done, or this feature will be more expensive compared to what we had initiated. Even after doing the design re-architecting, we see the cost is high. So all those things. And then once you see that, and you also start discussing about whether we have to do a different kind of architect, like can auto scaling help during daytime versus later in the evening based on the load. Even database, you can make choices. You can do spot instance instead of regular instance. Again, for that, the architecture of the application should be strong to handle the spot instances going away. Not every application handles spot instance. So those things, once you have financial goal, you will try to see how we can achieve it, how can we be within the budget. And also, this is very critical, incentivize smart choices, right? Once, and finally, it's good to celebrate good decisions. Financial accountability, saying you have a budget, should not be a punishment. It is about enabling teams to make smarter decision and then recognizing them for it. Maybe someone migrates workload to spot instance and saves thousands of dollars, or maybe team realize they can consider environments, consolidate environment. Instead of running separate environment for the same type of test, they consolidate and maybe show that 30% of the spend, right? So those highlights, we should highlight those wins in Slack or in Teams or in your monthly meetings or at a higher level. So that builds a positive culture around cost where one team feels empowered and not micromanaged. So financial accountability is not just engineering, it is across the board, it's everybody's responsibility.
Hey, Supriya, I have a question for you. So, has there been any situation where there is a budget involved, but then it is slightly lesser than what you anticipated, but still you cannot compromise on the services or on the engineering side? Is How have you dealt with this? Because I have no clue. I'm just
Yeah,
asking it out.
yeah.
Of
So I'll just give some context. I think if somebody is from finance background, they know this. So before the fiscal year kicks off, there is before like a quarter before the finance decisions are made. Like we have for next year, we are spending like million on cloud the next whole year, and 1 million is distributed is monthly. They know that it is based on some historical data. They say that okay, based on 10% of business growth production, we are spending xyz dollars. For R&D, we are spending xyz dollars, and that all is budgeted way before the fiscal year starts. And we exactly know, as FinOps team or SRE team, we exactly know what is the R&D budget, what is the production budget, what is the sales budget, what is. So that's why tracking and this dashboard helps. And then there is some new feature that is released, and we are expecting just to spend $50,000. Just giving an example on the R&D side. And this feature is way expensive, and we go out of the budget month over month, right? Even though the whole year budget is defined, it is broken down to 12 months. We end up spending we realize that we cannot run this service how much ever optimized it is, we cannot run within a certain budget. Then every quarter we do this remodeling with finance, rediscussing the numbers that okay, there is customer or there is a lot of flood of customers, and our production budget was planned even with 10% business growth. This was to this, but our business growth is 30%. So the finance revisits the number and they say that okay, the new services cost, they redefine the number. So if initially it was designed that 50, they go and write that okay, there is new feature coming and there is revenue when this feature is rolled out, because there is market value, the adoption is there. So they will revisit every quarter this number, change it, and redefine the numbers. So it is not set in stone, but you have to give that visibility why we are going off the budget, or why is something expensive and we are spending more.
Hey, there is a question for you. What factors and or feedback are considered in developing metrics? Example, KPI, OKRs, for cloud costs, especially. Example, past usage, best practices, etc. I think this question is from Eileen. Eileen, if you want to chime in, please unmute yourself. And if you want to say anything that I missed, please go ahead.
No, I think Supra just kind of answered a little bit of this. It sounds like finance kind of revisits it every month, but I'm just wondering, most people are using cloud as a tool. They're not the cloud creators, shall we say. So is it a cross-functional effort to create the KPI, or is it just the project team?
No, it's a cross-functional effort, Elaine, because see, it's engineers. They define what is cost per, like for example, cost per transaction, right? If it is a documentation company, they or it is like a subscription level number of users. So they define what is cost per user, cost per documentation, cost per transaction, cost per GB. So there is some metrics associated with each company on what is the goal they want to hit, right? And it is not just finance or product team defines it, it has to be cross functional. Engineering needs to say that okay, we are able to hit this, right, or not, or for this particular you are defining, because see, product team and other team, they do research outside also how other companies are competing, and you cannot set your price so high because you are you have not built it in such a way that you can't hit that number. So they define a number and we justify as engineering team that this is doable, not doable. And then finance also puts in their thought also, like, how much margins they want to get back with this number and how much we are going to sell it for. So there is a lot of it is a cross functional effort. I don't say it is any particular one team effort to define the KPI or OKRs.
All right.
We have
Thank
one
you.
question. Sorry, we have one more question from MA. So, in an entire team working on cloud cost finances, or it's just admins that are responsible for this?
So, Mahesh, entire team doesn't work on the cloud con. If you give visibility, like, has a, like, for example, if I'm from R&D team, and in R&D team also you have different teams, right? It's might be a development team, it is performance team, or it is SI regression team. So you, has a FinOps team, you give them visibility, that you build that dashboard and give them visibility. They don't have to work on the cloud cost finances. They have to know that, okay, my this particular thing cost me this much, am I running it efficiently or not? So you are everybody is responsible. You have to enable everyone to understand, build cost awareness, and not that particular admins are responsible. Am I answering your question right? I'm just
I don't know who is this person. His initials are MA, but Mahesh has a different question. Um,
oh
and MA, whoever you are, I don't know your name, but if you want to unmute yourself, and if Supriya has made it clear, either give us a thumbs up. Otherwise, you can also unmute and speak. Before we do that, I also have one question from Mahesh. Are there tools or metric generators which help identify these leaks? I understand there are various cloud providers, but what does GCP do help enterprises? I think it's a great question. We have another speaker coming up from Google after Supriya. If Supriya, go ahead, and if you know the answer, go
yeah.
ahead and chime in.
So GCP has some. So again, Mahesh, the question, like, which helps identify these leaks. So what kind of leaks? So there is two kind of things, right? um, GCP has this recommendation where they say that, based on the CPU and memory, they say that, okay, this is over provisioned. Or if you have provisioned like a 5 terabyte disk and you're just using 100 GB, they do give this recommendation that, okay, you can go and optimize it, you can change the instance type, you can buy more cards. But there are some things from application side also leak, right? So for example, guardrails from the application side. I'm just giving an example of subscription, or documentation subscription, right? Per user, there is 5 documents you can exchange, or 10 documents you can exchange. I'm giving an example. Or even when it is a ingestion based, you sell it for 10 GB ingestion, and then the customer ingests more than their contracted value, or customer does a transaction of more than the contracted documents, more than the contracted value. So these are all, these are called application leakage, where you're not putting guardrails based on what is you're selling. So that when there is more transaction, more ingestion, you're spending compute, you're spending storage, you're doing a lot of reads and writes everywhere. So those things GCP can't identify if there is from the application side. But if it is your over provisioning, those things GCP identify, and they do give a lot of recommendations.
Okay, I just have to go back to MA. MA is Mary. So she has a question. So FinOps is not orchestrating cloud deployment, but is delivering the analytics on the usage.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then I think we can move on. Please post the questions on the Q&A, because it's hard for me to move from chat to Q&A.
Yeah. So this is about the strategy I was talking about. It's not just in theory, but this is built day-to-day operations. So a lot of people who are on the FinOps side, on the finance side, or who have seen the cloud billing, they know what it is. So show back. So this is FinOps terminology, they say, or in the finance show back, it's making cloud usage visible to teams. but without applying financial pressure. You're not billing them, you're simply showing what is the cost, what is your application or service costs us. So a dashboard showing engineering team their monthly spend broken down by projects, or this is for better awareness. So once they see what they're consuming, they often start self-correcting without push from finance. What is chargeback? Like I mentioned, before the fiscal year, we decide on the budget for each team or each org, R&D, sales. And if you see, there is I don't know if you are able to see that every month we track how much does the training team take, how much does the sales spend, how much does R&D spend, how much does production, how much we are consuming. So we do allocate the actual cost, and finance takes this actual cost, how much we are spending on each team group, and then they map to their internal budgeting and they see the spend. So this is useful for larger organization where cost accountability drives ownership. What about cost and anomaly detection? So there is a lot of AI thing going on. So this is something where AI can work very well, where it can weekday versus weekend versus, so weekend there might be consumption is less and the cost might be flat, versus on a weekday there might be a lot of fluctuation, and if there is a spike, it recognizes the pattern, and it works as an early warning system that the cost is out of uh, it sees an anomaly. So without an anomaly detection tool built in, or you can build it in your house on the third party that can catch this early spikes and some immediate actions on, you can immediately take action. That okay, for example, I'm giving an example of the same thing. When you enable the cloud logging, and that cost can go up, and if you do something incorrect, network cost can go up. So those things can be caught, and it doesn't have to run till you don't need to wait till month end to realize that okay, there is something wrong and the cost has gone up, where is it, and you don't have to do start reverse engineering. So you can do it less than 24 hours or 36 hours, and you can fix the system. And talking about automation, so a lot of this manual shutdown and those things can be automated. Set policies to shut down over weekend, bring it up weekday, and you can templatize what kind of provisioning you are doing. Like instead of allowing everybody to go to the cloud console, bring up their instance, you can automate it. You can build template, like you can build t-shirt sizes, right? Small environment, mid-size environment, large environment, depending on what is your use case to test. And you can set policies on each environment that end of week just delete it, or uh, give the developer an option. So these things can be automated. Doesn't have humans don't time seeing where is the cost and what is happening. So these automated lot of things, then giving other people power to bring it up. Instead you can templatize it. And finally, automation. There is this is where your technical choices really matter. So um, basically, in optimization, you can decide from going regular to spot instances, setting auto scaling, enforcing application guardrails that don't accidentally over provision resources. So it's not about limiting engineers, it's giving them smart defaults that save money without slowing down delivery. So you don't need to do them all at once. So start with visibility, layer it in accountability, and then use automation and optimization to scale your efforts. So any questions here? Do we have more questions?
I don't see any. I think you can continue.
Okay. Okay. So next is enabling team without slowing innovation. So let's talk about something that often feels like trade-off: controlling cloud costs, right, without slowing down innovation. We don't have to pick one that let's control cost, and when we are trying to control cost, it slows down innovation. So that should not be the thing. The right mindset and tools can do both. Can you cost also and not decrease your innovation. So the does it go here? Okay, the goal isn't to stop the team from using cloud. It helps them use it wisely. So a healthy cloud culture gives team the freedom to experiment while putting some lightweight cost guardrails in place. So like I mentioned that we can templatize a lot of things, and like t-shirt size, provisioning resources, small, medium, large. With small you bring up instances, and you can define this than allowing the user, because when you are trying to as a SRE DevOps, you try to define the instances. You know that with this instances you have a lot of cuts purchased, so we go with N1, N2, or whichever those instances you can define. Then people bringing up some E series, C series, C family thing and all. So that will help them. Then foster a culture of ownership. So when you use tagging and all and enabled, you don't have to do this. Is not about finger pointing anybody that you are spending X amount. It's about transparency, showing them that whatever you're spending, this is your ownership. You see how you are staying within your budget, you see how to make better decisions. So this can be done with their own cloud usage dashboard, and celebrate when there's reduce cost without sacrificing performance. So provide tools, not restrictions. So cloud cost should not become a blocker. It should, instead of saying no, we should say here is a better way to do it. So there are you can build in-house dashboards, in-house tool where it provides kind of recommendation on like same thing. GCP has recommendation also in each project, showing this particular instance can be replaced with this. It's a better efficient one, so you can utilize those recommendation and not restrict from what you're developing. So again, like I mentioned, cost shouldn't be a surprise at the end. It should be part of every decision during development. So when you're developing a feature, make sure you have a metrics to track that this feature should cost XYZ amount based on certain breakdowns. And at the end of your development, when it goes to PSR QA testing, you track your uh, data on how much it costs. So that's the heart of FinOps, bringing finance closer to engineering without slowing down this one. So you have the financial data handy to see where it is. So that is about innovate without compromise. Once you have the right visibility and once you're able to manage your cost, you are not slowed down on anything. Uh, Next, when we are talking about real world example, let's take a step back and what we have learned. Right, we have learned on why visibility, why we need cost visibility. And once we have visibility, what we need to do, what actions we need to do is build financial accountability, have tagging in place, show build dashboards so that each team knows what they are spending on. Each product team knows how much their product bundle they are selling for, is how it is going, or per user metrics, per region metrics, per feature metrics. So if you build all that, everybody in the team across the organization know what the cost build is, why it is costing how much. So it is a journey, not a one-time fix. I keep saying that once this dashboards are built, it's not something you do once and forget it. It's a continuous process, because cloud usage evolves, new services comes, new team comes, business priority changes, and your cross strategy also has to grow with it. So for example, if I'm thinking through that, so what I can say is initially there was a team who migrated all their workload to Spot instance, and they saw initial savings, but then um, there was some things changed that they had to move to a dedicated demand on demand instance. So patterns change. So it is not about one time fix. It is again evolving, changing, seeing what is costing what, and then thinking through, going to the whiteboard, seeing where we have to change what. Again, for that, everything, the visibility matters. Small changes leads to big savings. Not every fix has to be massive project. So like I mentioned that setting a time to leave policy. So there are a lot of tools available in the market. I have used Cloud Custodian. There you can set policies to discard the unattached volumes, set for shutting down the environment and bringing back, for example, weekday versus weekend, long weekend. So there, these little things of cloud hygiene and just small things will help save thousands over time. Collaboration is the key. Again, it is not a single team who owns the cost. It's a shared responsibility across engineering, across product team, finance, and leadership. So when engineering develops something, product should understand that it's costing this much, and then finance should understand that why the cloud cost is growing, why we are paying this much invoice. When everybody understands the cost impact and the architecture and the trade-offs with rolling out any feature or selling something, then that's where real magic happens. um, then we have automate to scale. So again, I'm a big fan of automation. This manual tracking just don't scale, so automation is always your friend. Get your right sizing tool, like templatize what infrastructure you are bringing up, even for dev or staging. I'm not talking about just production. Even for dev staging, small things matter. Apply life cycle policies, set up anomaly detections. So this will reduce human errors, and it frees up time for more doing more and other work. So the goal is to build a system that self corrects, not require constant oversight. So um, again, cloud cost isn't about perfection, it's about progress, alignment, and building systems that add with you. Key takeaways, what we have learned in the past 45 minutes is we have to start with visibility, give them, you can't manage what you can't see. Again, you have to have that cost transparency as a foundation for everyone, that you need to have that visibility. Once you have the visibility, drive accountability, make sure every their cost, show that sales team, if they are budgeting. So even for sales team, it's the same thing, right? They run the POCs with environment free POCs. We need to have that guardrail saying that you are spending this much, and if you're continuing to give the environment beyond 30 days, that is budgeted in, and this is, you are responsible for your budget. And if you need to redefine the budget, we can work with finance, get it done. But that visibility, you cannot just leave the environment running. It is not just about sales or training team or QA team, or it's for everybody. And be proactive, not reactive. So keep set up automation, set up anomalies that help prevent surprises and saves time. Enable, so cost awareness should empower team to innovate responsibility, not slow them down. So these are the key takes. And if anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer.
There's one thing. I think Heliosa, you just she mentioned that we are spending 7K a month. We decide to save the backup in a low company budget while keeping the main values on trusted company. So we reduce the budget to 1.5K per a month. A lot is about backup. On my company, the data analyst plus cloud engineer figures out the
Yeah.
solution. So, Lisa, you wanted to expand on that. I think Aileen wanted to say that for posting more, elaborate with the group. So, do you want to elaborate more on this, Heliosa?
Hi, just first, were you supposed to show any slides about the presentation?
Uh, I'm sorry.
Because I am only seeing the building financial accountability.
Oh no, we were sharing everything.
So I'm only seeing the first slide.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, can you please mute? Oh, I see the question slide. Okay, then he is good. Mary is saying question slide. I think Heliusa, we don't know what is happening at the back. I'm not too sure what is, yeah, she was showing all the slides for now. I don't know how you missed it. Probably you want to disconnect and come back. Probably see if that might help. I think that might be a glitch at your end. We
Okay, because I'm only seeing the first slide of the presentation, view the
Wow.
information.
Okay, don't worry. We are sending, we are recording this. We will post it on the GDG YouTube channel.
Okay, sounds good. I will get out and I'll get it again back.
Okay, sounds good. And we are running almost off time. If anybody has any questions, please post in chat. If okay, one question from Rahil: if engineering teams push back on cost optimization efforts because they claim it impacts velocity and or innovation, how do you strike the balance between financial accountability and product delivery? And what metrics do you use to prove the cost optimization isn't slowing down the business?
Yeah, great question, Rahil. I have faced this when we talk about cost optimization. The first thing they say that I have 10 other items that has to be delivered to in the sprint, and this is not a priority. I will deprioritize something else and focus on this. That's why one main thing we talk about is automation, build automation. We start small, we build automation. There is a lot of things that can enable give them visibility, like for example in Kubernetes, when you're developing code, you define the CPU limit and request and limit, so that something visibility, you show them the visibility that where uh, you are underutilizing the resources, the way you have over provision, to how you're consuming. So you define, show that, and show them the dollar amount, that how much it can save. uh, and they don't have to do like a lot of things like redo the whole architecture, right? We are not asking about those things, we are asking about taking small steps. So that definitely helps a lot. Am I answering the right way? Yeah.
Okay, Rahil said, yeah, thumbs up. And then one last question, and we are not proceeding with any more questions. We'll keep it for the end after no, after Saurabh presents. So one question is the final sign off on FinOps from the head of finance department, or is this in the engineering department? That's a good question.
So final sign off, what are you signing off on?
No, who is the head who signs off this finance? Like who says, okay, is this the engineering department who sign offs in terms of FinOps, or the head of finance department? I think is that's the question.
Yes.
If I'm
So
not
finance department, they decide on the budget, and FinOps get involved in a lot of this optimization work. Again, in FinOps, there is two things. Some of the FinOps, they give only the visibility and not on the optimization side. There is a different team who works on the optimization piece, seeing how where there is the leakage. And engineering signs off on like cost per GB or cost per transaction, cost per user. So there are multiple people who sign off. It is not an individual person or who signs off on things.
okay,
Again, the final sign off depends on multiple factors, Ma.
and it also depends on where how the org is structured, right? In a company, who signs off certain things. I think it is an organizational decision, and I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. And but however, we are running out of time, guys. Supriya, you have one more question. I'll come back to it after Saurabh finishes. Is that okay with you all? Please give me a thumbs up if you are okay. Cool. Please
Yeah.
stay in touch with the Supriya. You can
Yeah,
stay.
thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I would love to continue this beyond this session too. If you have questions, please connect me on LinkedIn, and I'll happy to answer more.
Thank you. I am just going to stop recording and